What is up, guys? This is the ZeusTuber, and today I am back with my review of The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 5, titled Chupacabra. Now, this is Daryl's episode, because it mainly focuses on him. Now, there are other scenes with other people throughout the show, but this one is definitely, he is the main star in this particular episode. Now, at this point, in the show, Daryl is not, the big, huge, fan favorite that he is now. Obviously he was growing towards that, and I think he grew a lot in this episode towards our fan favorite that we know from, season 3, 4, 5. But right here, this is the start, the real big start of his badassery. Now, we already knew he was kind of a badass, but he was still really rough around the edges at this point, and he wasn't fully a part of the group, more or less. He was still kind of the rebel, more or less. He was the outsider. But we get to see him full on here with his hunt for Sophia, and obviously when Nervous Nelly, the horse he's on, gets spooked by the snake, and he slides down a little rock hill there, and he impales himself with his arrow. It's a pretty intense scene, because I don't know about a lot of you at this point. I did like Daryl. My dad and I liked him because he was the guy. He was rough around the edges, and he had a couple funny lines, and he was just. He was like the redneck badass in the group, and he just kind of got to like that about him. And at that point, we're like, oh no, they're not going to kill Daryl off, are they? Because anyone could die at any point. So when I first watched this, I genuinely felt that Daryl could die here, especially when he's bleeding out and he's all alone. Now at this point, I didn't know how. None of us knew how popular his character would get. So obviously, if we knew how popular he would get now, obviously none of us would be concerned for his fate in this episode. But I was definitely concerned. And then when Merle first showed up, I instantly knew that it was a flashback, because it just didn't make sense that Merle would just come randomly walking out of the woods towards where Daryl was laying down. So that was just pretty obvious to me. The episode itself, the pacing is a little weird, because it focuses a lot on Daryl, but when there's a commercial break and then it cuts to a different scene at the farm, it just seems out of place. And obviously they do that in a lot of shows, so it's not like it's a fault for just The Walking Dead. They do it in every show, and usually if there's multiple things going on after a commercial break, they'll break to the next scene, or a different part, different new characters, so to speak. But this episode is very good. I like Daryl's character development, and then the whole scene where Andrea's in the thick of her being just annoying, and she's like, "No, I got this. I'll shoot Daryl, or I'll shoot the walker," because she thought I was a walker, and she shoots Daryl, and we're like, "What? Daryl just went through all that?" I thought she had actually shot Daryl at that point. I was like, "All right, well, they didn't kill him before. I guess they'll kill him now." That was a pretty intense scene, and my dad and I were so mad during that commercial break. I remember when we first watched it when it aired, it was bang, you see Daryl, flop back a little bit, and Rick's like, "No, no," and it cuts to commercial break, and I'm like, what? She just shot Daryl, and we were so mad. We were like, "Oh my gosh, Andrea!" And then you find out, it just grazes his skull, and you're like, "Ooh, whew, Andrea, we would have had to dealt with you if you had killed Daryl there, but it's all right." And then it's just a really good episode. It's not the best episode. It only has an 8 out of 10 rating, 8.0 out of 10 rating on IMDb, and I think a lot of people thought it was a filler episode. Yeah, and it was kind of a filler episode, but it was a filler episode that I didn't mind. So I'll give this episode a 4 out of 5, and is definitely one of my favorites in season 2, but definitely not the strongest episode we've seen. So this has been the ZeusTuber, guys. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for some more Walking Dead news, theories, spoilers, and I guess we can add in reviews. Now there hasn't been a lot of things I found worthy of talking about on my channel over the past few days. Plus, I'm very busy. I have my parents are about to go away for 18 days. They're all getting packed up, and my grandmother's here, and we're getting everything all settled up. And plus, I'm juggling school, so I apologize if my flow videos slows down a little bit. It will pick back up again in a day or two. It's just yesterday and today I'm very busy, so this might be the only video I get done today. Maybe one more. And on top of that, there hasn't been a lot of really important news and theories to talk about with you guys. If you guys have any bits of information that you want me to talk about that you might have heard that I missed, then I might do a video on it. We'll wait and see. I always read your comments, and I always take what you guys say into account, but I don't always, do the video, just because, I don't know, maybe I just don't wanna, but, I'm allowed to do that, so. Alright guys, this has been the ZeusTuber. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you guys are having yourselves a nice day.